Hi, good morning, it's Jim from the maverickstar Observatory. Guys, in this video we're going to talk about why we concentrate on one of the space environment overviews so much. But before we do, I just want to say a big thanks to the few people that support the channel. I've just been observing over the last few days, and I've noticed if we don't keep mentioning the support for the observatory, it just doesn't happen. And it's important because just have a look at what's going on around the world today, especially with COVID-19, how it's affecting all these little businesses and these niche little markets. And our observatory is exactly that. It's a very, very small, if you like, boutique down a little alley that specialises in a very few things. And when you look at those few things that we specialise in, you know, they are really the biggest anomalies that are affecting humankind today. One we're talking about, the magnetic pole reversal. Last time that happened was 780,000 years ago, and this unique solar cycle that we're in right now. Last time we experienced such a minimum was in the Dalton period, 100 years or so ago, and then a little bit before that we had the Maunder minimum. And you know what I try and reiterate to you guys is what happens during these minimums. We can't really go back to the data when we look at the last magnetic reversal on this earth, because simply humankind wasn't there. So this is a big experience for us right now. So yeah, you know what guys, it's important. If you don't want to see these little boutiques disappear at this time where lots of these little unique shops and observatories and things like that are just clearly disappearing into the wind and not being seen again, then just simply try and support us through these tough times. There's a link down there in the description where you can do that. So let's get into it. So in the last video I done a few days ago, people were saying, why'd you keep reverting back to 2014 space environment overview? And it's really simple, guys, right? We've got two issues that we're trying to cover here, as well as a couple of other minors, but these two are the main ones. That is the grand solar minimum and the magnetic pole reversal, because they both deliver the same outcome, and that is more cosmic rays in our upper atmosphere. So why go back to 2014 space environment overview? It's simple. Have a look at the last three solar cycles I'm showing you here, and you can see that slap bang in the middle of solar cycle 24, it was around 2014. That was the solar maximum, when we should have had a huge heliosphere that protected our solar system from cosmic rays. And as you can see, these solar cycles have been dropping off. And it's really important because something changed at 2014 with our sun's output and the protective field that we've got that looks after our solar system. Let me show you what that was. So here's that important space environment overview that was launched on 2014. Now I've tried to get a more recent one so that we can have a look at what's happening at the minimum as well as what happened at the maximum, but this is the only one I could find. And I know I've tried to help me find a more recent space environment overview which carries the same contents of what we're looking at. But the importance of this space environment overview, and the reason why we keep going back to it, is it captured from the mainstream organisations what was going on during the maximum of solar cycle 24, not just with sunspots, but more importantly with something that changed. And that is, if you just go down 3 columns and look at those vertical lines, you'll see that at that point we experienced a unique time with regards to what was taking place during all the other solar cycles, and that was an influx of cosmic radiation during solar maximum. That's why it's so important. That's why we keep going back to 2014, because this data captured what was taking place during a solar maximum at the end of like a 33-year cycle of 3 cycles, and more in particular it captured something that changed about our solar system, and that is, even at solar maximum it allowed cosmic rays to come through. And you can see the vertical lines and the horizontal lines that capture solar cycle 23, solar cycle 22. At that peak of the cycle, you can see that it was pushing away the heliosphere cosmic rays, and then at solar cycle 24 it didn't. It stopped. It lost its power and its efficiency to push away even that cosmic rays during that period. And that's why we keep bringing it back to your attention, because this is the turning point. Now I just want to say this, guys, we can see on this space environment overview at solar minimums, if we look at the peaks at the top of the screen, 22, 23 and 24, if we look at the minimum levels, you can see that when we have low solar power, we have more cosmic ray influx, and you can see that that time period at those low intervals is getting extended each time as time goes on. That's why this space environment overview is so important, because it shows us what's been increasing over that time period, and that is cosmic rays. There's something else though, guys. It's not just about solar cycles and this space environment overview and the last 3 solar cycles that is important to us at this point in time. It is the magnetic reversal, because likewise that is allowing on our primary defense more cosmic radiation to come through because of its weakening. So that's why we keep using, guys, you know, the space environment overview from 2014-2015, because it shows us what happened during maximum with regards to our secondary line of defense against cosmic radiation. Our primary line of defense is weakening, and some say it's 20%, some say it's 25%, but nevertheless our primary shield that protects us from cosmic radiation is also weakening as a result of a world that is going through a magnetic reversal. And why is it so important? Well, it's for a few reasons. Not only does it allow more cosmic radiation to penetrate our upper atmosphere and create sluggish jet streams, which changes seasons, knocks out agricultural production around the world at a time where there's 7 billion people on our planet, but it also does something else. What is that something else? After the little pause, it raises our awareness of something that happened to our neighbouring planet Mars. It has been 500,000 years overdue, a magnetic reversal, our world which we live in. And what that poses is the question, is this what happened to Mars when it lost its magnetosphere, lost its core generating magnetic ability to protect its atmosphere and the water on its planet? Are we there? Are we witnessing this time round something that is going to change very dramatically about the world which we take for granted every day? You know, we can worry about lots of things in this world, going to work, whether we've got a job, making the bills at the end of the month, making sure that there's food on our table so we can all enjoy a nice bacon sandwich in the morning with a bit of Daddy Brown sauce on it, and a lot of other things. But what we take for granted, a lot of us, is even the very fact that the sun rises every day, bathes the earth with a nice warm environment so that all the biological diversities on this planet can survive. Without the protective field that the magnetic poles provide, the magnetosphere provides, and the solar heliosphere provides, none of it would be here today. And that's why it is so important to keep telling you guys, you know, we are living in very unusual times, despite all the things that are taking place in our lives right now, like COVID-19, destroying the world that we live in, literally changing the way we do business on a global scale. And this, compared to COVID-19, is Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on our planet of troubles. And we're facing a double whammy, which probably is compiling the problem with regards to cosmic rays. And that's why this little boutique, this little observatory, tries to bring you back down to ground every now and then and just say, guys, don't take this for granted. This is a real unique time which we're all living in, and this is really taking place. We are living in a time period where the sun is going through a grand solar minimum. For a lot of us, that's a big deal on its own. But adding to that, we're living in a very rare and unique anomaly at this point in time where our Earth is going through a magnetic reversal. And here at the observatory, we just try and cover everything we can. And that's why we've put some magnetometers in the United States, Hong Kong, Australia. We've got a muon detector going out to Australia. Should be there any day now, hopefully. I know Jeff sent me his data for May and June, which we'll be processing tomorrow because it's the 17th. It's the most important day of our observatory because we whip out the SD cards from the magnetosphere, from the TriMag and the magnetosphere sensor. And we put that data up on our bespoke website for you guys and share the information, which is something that the mainstream organisations are not doing with you guys. They can spend trillions of pounds on things like COVID-19, but the magnetic reversal is way more important. Hasn't even peaked on the social media level yet, but it will do in the coming years. And if you look at this chart, what we're looking at now, and you see that high intensity region over Russia, and just know this one fact: the magnetic North Pole is racing to that location to get ready to go through its reversal. And it will happen in your lifetime, I guarantee you that. And that's what we try and provide, a heads up on this big event that's coming for you guys. I think here's a good place to leave it. Other than one other thing, guys, is just mention we've got a link down there. If you want to help support us, we can help giving you, a routine update on this anomaly. That's something that the big organisations aren't doing. And we're in a unique situation here. We've got equipment now in a lot of different countries, focusing on these important regions with regards to two things. First of all, measuring the magnetosphere in that region, and now, more importantly, measuring the influx of muons, because more muons mean more interactions in the upper atmosphere, and that means, we are monitoring the levels of those two anomalies that are most important right now: the grand solar minimum and the magnetic pole reversal. I've said it before, guys, we don't just talk, we deliver facts based on the data that we have built here, bespoke equipment, and put out in the field. That's what we deliver. And that's why we ask you to keep this little boutique, this little observatory, ticking over at these very difficult times that we're all facing right now, because you know as well as I do, and as I see, and as you guys see, these little things are easily disappearing without any trace. I just think it would be a shame if we lost the ability for this observatory not to deliver on this main topic, as it is a very rare boutique to start with. Guys, I'm Gene Beards from the maverickstar Observatory. There's a link down there if you want to help support us, and I'll catch you up in a couple of days. As always, love you guys, and bye for now.